Well, hello, Michelle. How are you?
Hello, Nicole. I'm well. How are you?
Good. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Nicole Nepo here. I'm with my amazing business partner, Michelle Francis Smith. We're here with perinatal massage therapy education. Thank you,
Yes, we
everyone, for
are.
taking the time to join us. We're live every Thursday at 8:30, talking about different subjects that have to do with being a massage therapist, running a perinatal practice. Sometimes we talk about being a mom.
Yep.
And we'd love your feedback with our Facebook Lives. Please comment below, share this. Definitely follow our page so that you get notifications when we are going live. But thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video and to interact with us. We really do appreciate it.
Yes, we do. So great to see everyone. And hoping everyone's having a good week.
Yeah.
The weather is changing and it's getting darker earlier. So all those transitions are starting, and I hope people are taking care of themselves.
Yes, I've definitely felt that this week. So, and I think our patients are feeling that. So you'll start to see, I think at this time of year is when we're starting to rev up for the busy Christmas season that we have in our practices. So definitely practicing self-care as a therapist is, it's definitely on topic today.
Yeah, that's why both of us are going to get our workout after we finish our lives. So, yeah.
So we wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about building your massage therapy practice while kind of balancing life and growing a family, or buying houses, or moving in with people, or moving out on your own for the first time. I know I graduated when I was 21. You were young as well.
Yeah.
We weren't living on our own yet, maybe. So, well, I wasn't.
Yeah, no, I wasn't yet either. I was 24, 23.
So transitioning from, even just being in a practice and moving out of your house, your family's house, into your own place, and kind of knowing how to balance all of that. So let's just kind of get right into it. If you guys have questions along the way, please post them and we'll answer them as soon as we finish speaking about our topic. Absolutely. So let's first talk about balancing family, growing your family while having a massage practice. So when you started your practice, Michelle, I know you said we were both young, but when you started growing your family, how was that for you in your practice? How did you see the changes take place?
So I wasn't even 1 year in practice before I was pregnant with Bianca.
Okay.
So it's like your first year, you're getting used to like your body changing and dealing with bracketing stuff and emotions and physical, like sometimes discomfort because of the amount of treatment you're doing.
Right.
And it was hard. I actually remember just feeling like overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Because I was so excited about my practice, and I'm so excited about being pregnant, and it's also all new. And I was married all in that year. Like there was just so much happening all in that 1 year. So I guess the balance was that it was sort of out of balance. It was kind of like,
right.
And having to find a bit of a like sanity in that chaos.
Yeah.
I got a lot of massage from colleagues at my first clinic, which was great. So they treated me, and I was treating right up until 37 weeks pregnant, and then delivered at 37 weeks. So that next year was like real big.
How long did you take off with your first?
12 weeks. So 3
12 weeks. Okay, yes. Yeah, very months. Okay, is that including when you were, oh no, because you had her early at 37 weeks. So you weren't even like off pregnant waiting.
I wasn't even off pregnant waiting.
It worked out, I think.
Yeah, she was a little early bird. And that was like really interesting to be off for such a short period of time, get back slowly into practice, and then start teaching all in that time as well.
Okay.
So it was overwhelming, exciting, but it didn't really feel like it was balanced in those first couple of years. It felt like just a lot of adjusting.
So if you could talk to your younger self going through all that, what is maybe 1 or 2 pieces of advice you would give to just create more balance, take the pressure off you? Because there's a lot of pressure with making money and building a practice when you come out of school, right? Because you have expenses, you have school to pay for, you have living expenses, a baby to pay for. Babies are expensive.
Babies are expensive. So what I would tell my younger self is just hold on. It's going to be okay. Like right now it doesn't feel okay, and it doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It doesn't mean that anything is wrong. It's just a process. You're learning to be a therapist full time, and you've now become a full time mother and wife, and you're saving up for your first home. Like, whoa, a lot of things were happening.
Yeah.
So I think I would have just told myself that the overwhelm is expected and perfectly natural for all the changes that were happening. Even though they were all positive changes, it was a lot at once.
Right.
Yeah.
I just wanted to, Bhavani joined us, and Pauline, hello. Pauline says, wow, I just had my 5th and thinking to start up again at 12 weeks. But after my first, I was a write-off for so long.
Mm-hmm.
5th, wow. Good for
Hi,
you,
Pauline.
girl.
That's right. I remember hearing about you being pregnant.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. Hold on. I'm just curious. And I want to hear from you, Nicole, in a second.
Yeah.
How Pauline would compare like the first to preparing for this one. Like, is there something she tells her now self from that younger self or that first pregnancy to this 5th pregnancy, or vice versa? What advice do you give both of those people? Because I'm sure you've changed and transitioned over the time.
And learned a little.
And
become a little wise.
Oh, seriously wise.
I think it's common and she said she was a write-off for so long after her first, and I don't like to even say that, but like, I think with your first, it's always like you have to go through the mud. You have to learn the hardships, you know what I mean? And kind of know next time what you would do differently. I find that's just so common with anything, right? Because it's your first time going through it. You could read so many books. You can have us sitting here talking to you, giving you a list of things to do to prepare for the experience. But really, I think you just have to go through it and try to surround yourself with as much support as you can. Mm-hmm. I remember being pregnant, and I had just opened my clinic maybe a year and a half before. So I was like in entrepreneurial mode, and I got pregnant. And I remember telling my patients, like, this business is my baby. So this new baby, this human, is my second baby. And I'm just going to make it all work. And they were like, okay, Nicole, sure. We'll see.
They were so
sweet. Yeah. And I was like, no, you guys don't know me, And yeah, again, the same thing. I was just like blown away by the experience and the overwhelm and how much responsibility becoming a mother was to me, of what the pressure I put on myself, right?
That's
Nobody else put it on me.
No one else, exactly.
And I remember trying to run my business and manage people at the same time as becoming a mom, and just learning about all the new things with what being a parent meant. Right. So I did not like that experience. I think, if I do have another one, I've downsized my practice. So I'm only managing 2 therapists, but they're very independent. Mm-hmm. And my expenses have decreased so much. So, I still run a practice with 2 therapists, but I'm not as responsible for other people as it was before. And I feel less stressed. So I think that if you can manage your current situation with adding something else into it, like, you have to be real with yourself and look at what is it going to take for me to still run this practice, and then now what does it take for me to run my family? And you have to look at the 2 and say, like, how much more support do I need to add in here? Because I didn't hire a receptionist until once I came back to work, probably a year after I came back to work. Mm-hmm. And having that receptionist was like life-changing. Right. Because I was at home managing the phone, managing emails still while I had this new baby here. Right. And it wasn't a good idea. But at the time, you think, oh, I can't afford it. But really you can, because it actually just takes the stress away. It makes your experience better. And the people in your practice feel more supported by actually having someone who can mentally, emotionally be there for them when they need it.
and be there for you, right? Like,
and
that person
exactly.
For you. I remember, I didn't know you when your practice didn't have the reception, but I know when I met you, I was like, girl, you got this going on.
Oh yeah, I was like, oh, just give it to Amanda, she'll do it. Oh, she'll do it. You know what I mean?
Do it. And like how much more productive you could be.
Oh yeah.
That support, right?
Yeah.
Totally. The things you learn.
And I had to learn that. So Pauline says, 0 to 1 is by far the hardest transition. But a part of me feels like this one is the first time too. But you're right. You have a lot of experience to build on. All mamas are strong.
Yeah.
And my advice is to smile and nod with every piece of advice. Everyone means well. But ultimately, you need to find your own parenting style. Everyone's style is slightly different. And I think
Totally.
also how you manage and balance your life with being a parent is your own style too. Because I know some parents that are like, I'm pregnant right now with my first, and I'm planning on going back to work before my mat leave is over. So do you know any daycares in the area that, will allow me to bring my baby in like at 10 months?
Right.
And my thing is like, just wait and see first, like, 'cause you might change your mind, but at the same time, like, they want to just be prepared because they think the type of person I am, I know that I'm not going to want that whole year off. I'm going to be bored. Right. And this is just what they're thinking. And sometimes it's true. Sometimes they don't like that version of themselves only as a mom on this like year off mat leave. I don't know what that feels like. I've never had that. So, and neither have you, right? Like,
I've had 1 year off
because of teaching.
Because of the teaching.
Oh,
my first not, my second, and Kalea, I shared the last bit with husband, right?
So how was that for you, being able to take off all that time and focus?
Oh my gosh. Oh, it was blissful. So it was like compared to the first one where I'm off for 12 weeks and then I'm back to treating, starting as a new teacher, engorged and treating and pumping in between treatments, stressed out because it's like there's not enough time to pump. Then getting home and you want to be with your baby. So even though I have all this pumped milk, I don't want to give her the pump milk because I want to actually nurse her.
You want to be with her.
I want to be with her. So then I'm with her. Milk is accumulating. And then at nighttime, when Wayne's like, okay, so I'll feed her I'll warm up the breast milk and feed her so you can sleep. And I'm like, but no, I need more time with her. So I'm up all night. And then you go back. So that's why, unfortunately, nursing didn't last for very long with the first, because I was like, I'm just going constantly. And not because anyone else told me to. Not because anyone said, Michelle, you're not a good mom if you don't do this. I wanted that, right?
Yeah.
Second time around, mat leave. Hallelujah. It was like so nice.
Yeah.
I'm walking around. I've got my 2 kids. I've got time. I was going to the gym. I'm cooking well, like eating better, sleeping better. It was really good. And then the third time around, because Dwayne had taken 9 months with our first, right? I took 3 weeks off unpaid, and then he took 9 months paternity leave. We made a deal that on the third, if we had a third, that he would get like 6 weeks or something. So he got 6 weeks at the end. It was good.
What a difference. And I think it's important to kind of hear everyone's different experiences. Oh my God, I did the same with my first. So Bhavani.
Oh, Bhavani.
I think it's
girl.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember with my son, like for some reason, I know why I was stressed. I could barely pump.
Yeah.
He was the chunkiest baby when I was breastfeeding, but when it came to pumping, I'd get like an ounce. And I wasn't going for a whole day at the beginning, 3 months. I was gone for maybe 2-3 hours, but they needed to eat that. And he was not happy because I wasn't leaving him very much. And I was just not open to giving him formula. And next time I will give them either formula or donated milk while I'm not around if I can't pump, because it wasn't worth the stress of like rush to work, rush home. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't worth it. Yeah. It really was not worth it. And so I think
the anxiety it creates is huge.
Because that lasted for me up until probably this past year, like probably like the beginning of 2018, of this rushing to get home. Like it was just this instinctual thing. I couldn't just and then I'd get home and like no one's there. You know what I mean? Or they don't like me. And they're doing their own thing, right? And so it's like, why did I rush home? But I think it's important to talk to other RMTs, talk to other moms, talk to other dads, find out kind of what they're doing, and that's what I love about our group, the Perinatal Massage Therapist Canada, the Pregnancy Massage Therapist Canada group on Facebook. That's what I love about it, because we can start conversations on there. And so I think it's important to kind of know, like, hey, you had a teaching job that allowed you to have some sort of paid leave. Because I know the big question is, do you pay into this EI for the mat leave? Do you not? Some don't want to, some save money. So I think you have to just figure out what works for you. I know a lot of therapists end up working from home. I will never work from my home. I'm not into that. Like, it's just something I don't want to ever do. But I know some therapists do, because like, what are you going to do with this new baby? Like, while you have to treat, who's going to watch that baby? So I definitely think it's important to kind of look at all different perspectives and see what works for different people to kind of try to create that balance.
Yeah.
And just, you know, I loved going to work. Work was my self-care. Work was my like time alone of just being Nicole, not mom.
Yes.
And then eventually the other things started happening as well. Like I was working out or, you know, seeing friends. But at the beginning, like that was my time where I could be me again. And so that's what I did actually like about being able to come back to work early. Whereas I know others have just like this such deep guilt, you know, leaving their kids, and they don't like it. So, I mean, I've had a 3-day-a-week practice since he was 9 months old, when he started daycare, and he's now in school. And I love it because I don't plan on going back more than that. I don't have body pain. I get balance in my life. You know, I do have other things like our business and some other things on the side that allow me to have some income. But I think it's important to find something that works for you and that makes you happy, because you don't want to be, you know, draining that one side of your life, you know, giving yourself to your family and nothing for yourself. And then you're now at your practice just giving.
Same thing again. Yes.
Where's the care for you? Where's that balance, right? So yeah, so I definitely know that for myself, I would do things totally different next time. Bhavani, tell us a little bit about your experience with trying to figure out some kind of balance. Or Bhavani has 2 now, right? She just had her second, I think.
I can't remember offhand right now.
I'm trying to look at her profile picture.
Oh yeah, it does look like there's 2 little ones.
Yeah. Okay. So tell us about your experience comparing the first to second.
Right.
I'd love to hear about that. What's another thing that you think is important to talk about when you're trying to balance, you're growing your practice and family? Like, did you have to change the days that you were working, or were you able to kind of work the same hours? Like, how did that all work for you?
Oh, wow. I mean, I think about it, it's all changed throughout, right? Like, first child, you might be living in a certain part of the city, practicing in another part of the city, teaching in another part of the city. But like that all changed when I had my second. Then we had moved to another part of the city, so I've changed that practice. So hours, days, what courses I was offered to teach and when they were happening, which didn't land on the same day every term. Constantly changing, but I think what's been key for me has been the support that I've gotten. Like everyone who knows me and has known me with children has known that a huge part of me being able to have my practice, have a semblance of a professional life and a personal life has been because of the support of my husband and my mom. Like mom has filled in where my husband and I couldn't be there or have work or whatever. She's stepped up from the beginning. So it's like 15 years. She was focused on helping us grow our family. We know that that's not always typical. That's not always possible. Parents aren't always here, but also parents aren't always able to, like health-wise, they might not be able to because they might still be working. But my mom, you know, happened to be able to be in that position, and she chose this position. Really, she could have been doing so many other things. Bless her. And that made a huge difference because my schedule was so erratic. It's like constantly changing. Now I have become better at something that you have also highlighted for me, which is you got to think about what's important to you and what works for you in the life you want. Don't wait for it to like appear. You have to choose it and let the schedule start to work around what you've chosen. When you're
that is so powerful to say that. I think like knowing that you have the power and not that, you know, your patients have the power because it's whenever they want to come in or whoever clinic you work for has the power. Like, I think like you just said, like you have the power to choose.
Yes.
That is like the biggest thing there, like to take away from that, because I know that a lot of practitioners have fear of changing their hours. You know, I went from, you know, 5-6 days a week working days and definitely evenings until at least 7 or 8, and then working every single Saturday, and sometimes working like Sundays here and there, or working a long weekend because I'm like, oh, everybody's off, I should be working. And I went from that to when I finally started back, like really working 3 days a week, I was only working till probably 5 because then I went to pick up my son. So I lived maybe half an hour away, like from wherever I lived. My clinic was always about half an hour.
Right.
So that was like Toronto. I was like Milton, Burlington, Waterdown. So,
yeah.
But I'm still about half an hour on
so
all
it's
sides.
About half an hour, right.
But so I was like, you know what? If there's an emergency with daycare, I need to like drop everything and go because my husband works downtown.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like an hour and a half away. So I made sure that he was in daycare near where I worked. Right. Which really worked out for me. It would be great if we could have all these clinics that had childcare in.
I know, like some
I think that would just be so amazing, right? So I made sure that he had that, and then when I was working, I would be done at 5, so I'd work it from like drop off, and I'd drop him off, and sometimes at one point I was working out before I went to work, which is great.
Right.
And then I would go right into work or work until 5 and then pick them up and then go home. So there's no more Saturdays. Mm-hmm. There's no more evenings. And I had patients that were like taking days off or, working from home. Like that has changed huge compared like from 4 years ago to now. Mm-hmm. I have more patients now that can work from home when they have appointments or actually work from home permanently that are able to be more flexible with their time.
Yes.
I when I first started my practice, 13 years ago, I never thought Mondays would be a busy day because at the time I was like, okay, I'll keep Mondays open, but I never have bookings. And now because of people's flexibility and the fact that people are bringing their babies in with them postpartum, so they're coming in mornings and afternoons, my schedule has been able to change to what I want it to be.
That's right.
I did my due diligence of working my Saturdays, and you don't even have to do that. You don't even have to ever work a Saturday.
I was just going to say, I like that you stress that. Like,
yeah, you know what I mean?
And sometimes it's a choice that works, especially when you are a new parent and maybe your partner is available on the weekend to be with your child, right? So then it actually works. But if it doesn't work, don't feel like there's some rule.
And I always wanted to get off of that because it was like friends were planning getaways or, late nights on the Friday nights. And I was like, I'm going to work tomorrow.
Right.
And I didn't know until I actually had my son. He taught me about balance because I actually had to. Like you have no choice to figure out stuff. Otherwise, like you're a mess, right? Because I was at the beginning. I was a mess. And so I think he really taught me that I had to do certain things. And of course, certain things have got out of balance, like self-care and, doing like different things with my business, feeling not as driven here and there. But I think overall, like being more in control of my schedule and like people, if they really need and want to come and see you, they will make the time.
They will make the time.
Okay. So don't think that you need to accommodate everybody. They will accommodate you.
They will.
Right?
And people make time for things that they hold in high regard or value.
Yeah.
So when you're with people, take the opportunity to have them see who you are, why you do what you do, why you love what you do, and then pour that into them. They will bend like a pretzel to come and see you.
Yes.
I mean, today we were just going over scheduling at my clinic. I'll make this brief because I'm looking at our time. But we were going over scheduling and again, like bookings into December and all these things. And she was like, okay, so you've got 5 here, like there's a block here. Do you want to leave it like that? And I was like, let's leave it like that because there might be that person that we want to open it up to. I won't do more than 6 on those longer days.
Yeah.
But the fact that I never thought that a Tuesday, Thursday, and a morning on Wednesday would be full every week from now until December, if that's what you want,
Yeah, totally.
So Vivani did end up coming back to her question.
She said, haha, balance. It's hard. Yes, I have to. So with my first, I was put on bed rest with my first at 4.5 months, which was tough. Oh my gosh, I can imagine that. Yes, I had to stop teaching, leave my practice downtown. So I started working from my home after a few little renos. Then we found out we were having number 2 and decided I would just work from home when my husband was home to look after the girls. So this year we did a major reno and converted half of our home to a workspace. Wow. That's a great write-off. I can continue to be with my girls during the day and working when he's home. So at the moment, things are a bit crazy, but we'll settle down when things are all done here. I also went back to work 2 months postpartum, but only part-time. Yeah, and I definitely think like if working from home is realistic for you, like I go to a therapist, Wendy, and she's been working from home since her kids were little. They're all in high school.
Yeah.
They're both in high school now, but it's just like her thing. Like that's just, she only advertises through word of mouth.
Yeah.
She has a great practice. Like she does well, and she gets to pick her hours. So if that works for you, then do it, right? Like what a great write-off to be able to renovate your house and do all that for business. I mean,
and be close. You know, she's cut out the transportation. She doesn't have to worry about who is with the kids.
Yeah.
That's
huge because
congratulations, because that's the choice.
And and you say balance is hard, but I think you are actually attaining it right now. You may not feel like it because you have 2 little ones, but I'm sure from the outside, if you're talking to somebody else, they would say you got your shit together. So I think that's great.
I like it.
All right, so we're nearing close to the end. Thank you so much for everyone for joining us tonight and for all your comments. Michelle, obviously, it's always great to see you every week. And I'm so excited because tomorrow we're going to be at the Canadian Massage Conference.
In person.
And I get to be here for 2 days because we're speaking at the CMC in Burlington, Ontario, tomorrow and Saturday. We're talking about postpartum massage and diastasis recti, the pelvic floor, all of those wonderful things. And then we're also talking about our pregnancy massage course. So we actually have our last 2 courses of 2018 happening in October on the 13th and 14th in Stony Creek, Ontario at the Ontario College of Health and Technology.
That's it.
And so one day is the pregnancy course, and then another day is our infant massage course, 2 separate courses. Both courses will have a clinic where you get to practice on the public. And they're amazing courses. We just taught our postpartum course, and I had so much fun at the course, even though I was teaching and it was work for me, but it didn't feel like it. And I know Michelle felt the same way.
Oh my gosh. I was just talking about it today again at the clinic, sharing with the pelvic physios about the laughter. We had so much laughter. Yeah. It was so much fun.
So if you can join us, if you're going to be at the CMC, we have a little special treat for you if you're attending one of our presentations. So that treat will be revealed, and it will hopefully allow you to take our course in October. So thank you again, Michelle.
Yes, my dear.
We both need to go to our workouts, so let's.
I know. We're just gonna
cut in here before it gets too late, and we want to go to sleep.
That's right. That's right. We have to get up and do our thing tomorrow.
Yes, I'm so excited. Everyone. We have to talk about outfits. Don't forget about that. I want to make sure we match.
No, we coordinate. Yes, we usually always find a way to do that.
I know. It's just like I'm gonna wear this.
Let's actually chat about it. Okay.
All right, everyone. Have a great night.
Good night.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you this weekend. Bye for now.